In the Chapter 5, understanding the mold organizational structure with our assemblies. The first thing I have open is just Windows Explorer, showing that under this workspace we have a library folder, any workspace folder, and of course our project file. Also, when we go to start new files inside of the Inventor mold environment, we have a few templates to choose from that come standard with the program. The templates that are available for use are going to be our metric and DIN and also English style templates. Also, there's a special Content Center folder that may be needed to be activated when selecting a project. So the first thing we need to do is change our project over inside of our Inventor for Chapter 5. In this case, I'm going to open my projects and I'm going to go find or browse for a new project file. Hopefully you've installed in your base location, so it shall be easy to find. I'm going to look at my tutorial files, my mold folder, my cover mold folder, and my cover mold IPJ. I'm going to simply open that up, make sure it has the check mark so I know it's active. Next, we're going to go through and we're going to open an assembly file to work with. We're going to be looking at the cover mold assembly. Simply select open. Now that we have an error that's come up, a resolve link error. So to do this, we're going to go through and cancel out of this selection. We're going to go back to our project file location, look at our cover mold project file, and look at the configurations of the Content Center libraries. One thing that we'll notice with the configurations of our Content Center library, that our mold library is not active. So I'll place my check mark there, select OK, save this file, and choose Done. Now when I go back in to open that assembly file, we shall have no resolve link errors. With our full mold assembly up, we always have to ask the question, how do we get here? Again, it's simple as starting File, New, from our Metric tab, if that's the standard we're working with, and ensuring that we select the mold design.iam. That will also give us the proper features when we start and work with a mold design. Go ahead and cancel this. I have switched over to view back in Windows Explorer. In this case, we're looking at the files that are generated inside of our mold design. In this case, this assembly may have been provided by another user with a pack and go utility. So these files would be generated once I have my saved location. It's also important to know what files are generated when a moldable part is added into a mold design and saved. When this is done, the cover mold directory updates as follows. Each of these files will be explained in this tutorial. The main files that we're going to be talking about are the cover ly, the cover mp, the cover pz, all .iams. In our next topic, understanding mold design in the browser nodes, we're going to return back to our Inventor mold design environment, but we're going to ensure that our browser is set to, instead of model, mold design. This gives us a different set of features inside of our browser that we'll be working with. First, we're going to notice that we do have our representations that are created much like any assembly file when working inside of Inventor. Second, we have a cover file. We can simply turn the visibility on and off of that cover file itself. In this case, I turn the visibility off. I can also choose that cover file, in this case, to go through, turn the visibility back on, and at the same time I could now also go through and isolate it. The cover node of the browser contains significant information about such things as orientation of the model, shrinkage, core and cavity, patterns, and gate locations. This information is stored in the cover mold _cover _mp file. The MP appended to the end of the file name indicates it's the moldable part file itself. We're going to right click the cover node and click open. After we've opened the cover mold _cover _mp.ipt model opens. If we review the browser, the _mp file contains all the information related to the core and cavity design in this file. You can see all the surface patches and runoff surfaces that were used to create the parting surface. The fourth node in the _mp file is the original moldable part file. Right-click the cover.ipt in the browser and click Open Base Component. Again, this file is our original molded part file, which contains all the features that created it. The cover.ipt model can be modified to make product changes, which will be reflected in the moldable part. The cover mold _cover_mp moldable part can also be edited by the designer to satisfy any mold design requirements. Let's go ahead and close this file, and we want to be left with only the active assembly file. Once we're back to our assembly file, again we're going to right-click cover, and we're going to undo the isolate to bring everything back up into our viewing window.